Hello everyone. All right, another live stream for today. Now, I'm just going to warn you, you might have to deal with my dogs barking in the background. So, it's evening time and it's their time that they can get out of their crates. They've been cooped up in the daytime because I have stuff to do and I have to work and I have to make it happen so I can buy dog food for them. And so they're on the other side of the door. They're also mad that they can't come into my office. So they're outside the door wrestling, playing, trying to scratch, and so I'm going to ignore them like a good parent and say just go play, please, and keep my fingers crossed that there isn't going to be a huge mess when I get back. So okay, so I was thinking about what to talk about today, and trying to really channel okay, what is it that they need to hear, and what I came up with as I was thinking through my own path and my own journey and things that I've gone through, that the reality is, if you look around, and you're here for a reason. So I'm assuming if you're following this page that you are a creative person, that you are looking to have a creative career, and that you are a believer in mindset and moving things forward, and that you have control over your life, and that you want bigger things, that you're looking to expand your creative career in some way, no matter where you're at in the journey. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. You would be on my personal page, you'd be sending me DMs, you'd be on somebody else's page, but you're here. And I love having you here, so I'm glad you're here. So I'm assuming this about you, that you are looking for more, that you're not really content with where you're landing right now. And the first step in getting to where you want to be is being honest with yourself. And so I'm just going to level you out. If you are not where you want to be in your creative career, it's because you don't believe you deserve that. Whatever that is. There's a part of you that doesn't believe you can have it. Either you don't deserve it, you're not worthy of it, you're not capable of it, that you're not allowed, that you're going to screw it up, that it's just not done, it's not okay. There is a part of you that is saying, no, you can't have this. And I know this for an absolute fact because it happens to everyone. Because the reality is, if you had zero issues, if you had nothing standing in your way, nothing telling you that you couldn't have it, you would have it. You're not a sadist, you would have it. If there's nothing stopping you from having something that you really, really want, you can have it. Oh my God, they're so crazy. They're so wild. That's that tension that we talk about, trying to figure out what to do next. If you want something and you're putting all of your effort and your energy towards that something, and there's nothing standing in your way, then every opportunity that you need is going to come to you. You're going to take advantage of those opportunities. You're going to know where to go next. You're going to do those things. And things just build on top of each other. So if right now you're not where you want to be in your creative career, that's because there's a part of you that is saying no, that you can't have it, that you don't deserve it, that you're not capable of doing it, that you're just going to mess it up anyway. That's beyond your reach. This is 100% fact. So part of mindset work is accepting that and figuring out, well, why don't I believe I can have it? What is that messaging? What is that about? And recognizing it and then doing something about it. Now, the doing something about it is, well, that's the tough part. So then doing something about it, you have to heal it, preferably, so it doesn't keep coming back, or you have to let it go. And sometimes in the healing, that's part of the letting it go. Now, I am not a licensed therapist, and I will tell everyone that because I highly, highly respect therapy, and I value it in a huge way. And doctors that work on it, and that's a big thing. I think everyone should go through therapy at some point, because you can't complain to your friends forever and ever. And sometimes they don't give you the great advice either. Sometimes they do, but sometimes they don't. So I applaud therapists and therapy, and I do see a big value in traditional talk therapy. I'm a little bit different than other mindset coaches in that, but I do value regular traditional talk therapy. It does it works. It takes longer, but it works, because you're going through the process based on your perceptions, and sometimes we're slow, and sometimes we don't make those connections, but it does work. It is effective. But here's the thing. Being able to overcome those challenges, being able to overcome that theory that you don't deserve whatever you want to get, it's helpful if you go through and really dig deep into, why do I feel that way? Where did that come from? How did that messaging start? It started in my childhood. Who is the voice that's telling me that? And going through that work and healing every step of the way. Yes, there is a huge value to that, because you're getting to it at the root. You're taking care of the issue at the root, so then you aren't going to have to worry about it coming back and forth, and recycling it over and over again. So yeah, that's highly helpful. But here's newsflash too. Your success is not dependent on your worthiness. So remember, this is manifestation. This is mindset work. It's all about energy and what you're putting out there, and the energy you're working with in your mind. So as all energy is not good or evil. Energy just goes. And vibrations match vibrations. So if you want to get to the root and dissect it and really take your time, yes, by all means, please do, because you're going to be helping yourself in the long run. But sometimes I have seen people use the digging through the history over and over again and use that as another excuse to not move forward. They're saying, I can't move forward until I figure out why my dad didn't buy me a donkey and how that hurt my feelings when I was 5. Okay, well, if you're just going to keep talking about stuff and going on and on about it, but you're not going to actually heal it, then you might as well move on. But you can, believe it or not, you can just let things go, and it will still work. Because remember, mindset work isn't about worthiness or morality or good or bad. It's vibration and energy. Energy goes where it goes. So if you let it go and say, okay, you know what? I'm going to let go this idea that I am not deserving of my success. I'm going to let go of this idea that I'm going to mess this up. I'm just going to let it go without doing the deep digging about my family history and why I didn't get what I didn't get as a child. And it is possible you could just let it go. For some folks, that's really hard to let things go. Because think about it. You've created a whole life and persona and everything around this not getting what you want, around this whole idea that you're not worthy. You've created multiple stories and patterns around this. That's really hard to give up, because it's a big part of your personality now. And now you're leaning on it and you're depending on it. So to be able to let it go, just, if you can do that, great, do it. Do it, just let it go. It's that easy. You could just let it go. But keep in mind, if you are leaning on that story about your worthiness, if that is like becoming a huge part of who you are as a person, and you let it go, you're going to go through this pattern of like, well, now who am I? Who am I without my victim story? Who am I without this idea that I'm not worthy? Who am I? And then that struggle goes on. So I'd be a liar if I said that you have to go through hours and hours and hours and hours first before you can reap the benefits, because that's not true. It's mindset. It's all about energy and vibrational flow. It does help because it eases into the transition a little bit, but yeah, literally you could just be like, you know what? She's right. And I don't feel like I deserve this, and I'm going to change my tune because why wouldn't I deserve it? I work hard and I'm cool. Yeah, the universe will deliver. Eventually it'll come back to you, and well, not eventually, because if you really just let it go, it's gone. Like there's nothing saying that you have to hold on to these stories. There's nothing saying that you have to hold on to this drama. You could just let it go. You don't have to rationalize it. You don't have to explain yourself. You really don't have to make amends, or, well, making amends is a good thing, as much as you can, because sometimes you can't. People don't want to hear it, but you make amends based on your truth. So you could just let it go. You just let it go and be like, I'm done with that. Letting it go. If you think of it like in terms of a relationship, if you're with someone who is being really dramatic and wanting to fight and wanting to cry and complain all the time and being abusive and being over the top, you can get to the point where you're like, you know what? Nah, this isn't working. I'm going to say no. I'm going to say no to this drama. I'm not going to engage in this anymore. No. And it's over. You just go. You actually... Now, as someone who is or a formal people pleaser, this is a big thing. But you don't have to explain yourself or rationalize. You do what you do. You do what works for you. So you can let it go. But I know for a fact that if you're not where you want to be, it's because there's a part of you that doesn't feel that you're worthy of it, or you deserve it, or you're capable of it in some way, shape, or form. Now, the next step is looking at, do you know what you want for your creative life and your creative career? When's the last time you sat and really thought about what success looks like for you? Success looks differently for different people. So I would never spend a lot of time making a video or training to teach creative people how to make a lot of money. Because it's not about the money. It's about how it makes you feel. Like, how are you feeling? What does that mean for you, making a lot of money? Because making a lot of money is just a tactic. But what it comes down to is, what does success mean to you? How will you know when you get there? What does it look like? And when I mean look like, I mean really get to the nitty-gritty details. What are you wearing? Like, what do you wear on a day-to-day basis as a successful creative entrepreneur? Like, what does your wardrobe look like? How do you present yourself walking out into the world? Where do you live? How does your residence look? Are you in a house? Are you in an apartment? Are you in a penthouse? What furniture do you have? What's your aesthetic look like? Do you have pets? Are you talking to your family? Are you close to your family? What does it look like? What are you driving? Are you driving at all? Like, do you live in a major city where you take mass transit? What does success look like? How does your day-to-day look? What time do you get up? What do you do when you do get up? How do you get ready for your day? Where are you going to work? Do you work? Do you mostly have passive income that comes through on the computer? What nitty-gritty details to as much minutia as you can stand. The more you can visualize it, the more you can say, yes, that. If I have that, then I'll know I get there. Because you need a goalpost. How will you know that you're successful? Like, what does success mean to you? It means different things for different people. And when people are pressed to actually give details and really daydream about what a successful life means to them, they'll find it's not so much that, like, oh, I have a lot of money. Oh my gosh, I have a boat. I have this. It's not about the stuff. It's about the feeling around it. And as creative people, we have this ability to spend a lot of time daydreaming and imagining and coming up with different stories, which is why we're so awesome. So take advantage of that. Like, take some time and really imagine, like, what does your day-to-day look like when you are in that place? You're like looking around saying, yeah, this is my successful, like, I love this. Like, this is the life I love. What does it look like? And how does it make you feel? How does it make you feel, like, to have that life? Because honestly, if it makes you feel secure, Security doesn't come necessarily from millions and millions of dollars. From what I hear, it adds more stress. So if you're looking around and everything that you're picking turns out to have nothing to do with having millions of dollars, well, then it's not so much the money, it's the security, it's the closeness, it's the freedom, it's the ease, it's the joy around you, it's being able to connect with other human beings, it's having freedom to wake up every day and just work on the art that you want to work on. It's being able to share what you do out into the world. It's being able to take risks in your art. It's being able to audition for really big projects. It's being able to write really big projects. It's all these things that you believe, but you don't always say out loud. But take some time to really look at, like, what does success actually mean to you? Because if you can really hone in on it and the feelings around it and the items that are really important, then you have a place to start. You have where you want to be and where you're at now. So you have a place to start, because then you can start tackling the gap in between. Sometimes, and these are the best. I love the clients like this when we go through these exercises with these clients and they start talking about like how it's making them feel and their end game and all those joyous things, and they start to realize, holy snap, I actually have a lot more of that than I realized. I love those moments when they can really start to look like, you know what? I'm just about there. Like, I have that now. But they're going on somebody else's version of what they should want. But when they get authentic about what they actually want, they realize, oh my gosh, like, my life is actually pretty much there. And then their whole outlook changes. Sometimes you start doing it and you realize, oh my gosh, like, where I want to be, I'm nowhere near that, and I didn't even know that's where I want to be. Like, I have a huge gap, and I've been living inauthentically for years, but really what I want is this. So, but as frustrating as that is, I'm saying from experience, there is beauty in that as well, because now you know, and things start becoming clear. Your next steps becoming clear. You have a whole bunch of clarity because you're like, wait a minute, I'm doing XYZ because someone told me to, but really, I don't even care about that. I want this. So now you can start to redirect and shift and make decisions that make more sense and support where you want to be. That's awesome too. So either way, like, really taking the time to think about, what does success mean to you? Like, how will you know when you get there? If I say what does success mean to you and you start saying, I don't know, I have a blog, I don't know, I can have a cool car. Okay, then I'm like, okay, well, how do you know when you get there? How will you know when you get there? And I make the person go through details, because the more you get lost in the details, just like any other creative project, the more you invest in yourself in that project, and the more you get lost in it and lose track of like time, space, and you just throw yourself into it, the more you start to hone in on the vibration and the feelings of where you want to be. So yeah, do that. And it's fun. It's fun. I recommend my little own special sauce. Use whatever medium you use as a creative professional to kind of create your picture of success. So what I mean is, if you are a visual artist, draw pictures, like sketch out pictures of yourself being successful. Like, what does that look like little moments and snippets. If you're a writer, write a story about a day in the life. If you are a voiceover artist or an actor, talk it through, tell your story, like in a recorded message, like on a tape recorder. So whatever it is that you do, use that to create a picture of your story using your chosen medium. I just find it's more fun. A lot of times you'll hear mindset work and they'll say, oh, just write the story, just write journaling and writing is, I'm 100% on board with journaling and writing. if you give it your own flavor, you just give it that little extra bit of special sauce. You don't have to put it on something special. I mean, don't spend your time looking for the perfect canvas, because that's another route of avoiding getting down to it. I love us. I love creative entrepreneurs. Like, we're so funny. But yeah, we'll use, when it gets down to, like, if we're nervous about showing ourselves or getting down to our real truth, like, we'll use any sort of crazy excuse to avoid this. Like, I cannot paint today. I cannot paint until I have the perfect paintbrush. And you don't need no perfect paintbrush. Like, I've done that in theater too. Like, I cannot get to the scene until, like, I need to be there. I need the special costume. I need to actually go to this place where this character once was historic. And I won't be able to be right. No, you're making excuses because you're never going to get XYZ thing. So stop making excuses. But I do find it's fun to put a little special flair. If you're a visual artist and you connect with that, then yeah, draw a picture of it. Whatever medium works for you, you should try it and really look at what does success mean to you. And when you start to think about it, and when you really the more you get into it and the more you create this picture, the more your negative critic is going to chime in and say how stupid it is. It's how I use it's an exercise that I use to help lure the inner critic out, so then you can combat it. And you will find that activity and other activities in my online course that is now on Teachable. I'm going to be doing more online courses. I decided today, I'm like, I need a really big, fat, juicy, delicious, sexy course out there, like a really high value course. So I'm really excited for putting that together. But in the meantime, take advantage of the little ones while you can. But we talk about my special activities for how I lure out the inner critic. Because they're like roaches. If you don't lure them out, they'll hide, and you have to trick them into coming out, and then you can combat them. So the more you get into the beauty of what success looks like and that beautiful picture, the more the hard inner critic will come in, and then you'll be able to quickly discover, oh wow, like that's what I'm saying to myself underneath. You'll be able to see firsthand how you're talking yourself down and how you're putting messaging out there that you don't deserve it. You don't deserve to have that fabulous life, and you're not capable of having that fabulous life. And look at you. How can you even think that you can have that? So it's a fun exercise. It's a hard exercise. The first time you go through it, I would say the first 2 times you go through it, it's hard because you are vocalizing and putting out there all the negative self-talk. But the reality is that's the script that you have playing in your head 24/7. That's the script that is keeping you from that successful, beautiful life, because when it comes down to it, that's the vibration that you're putting out there. And with mindset, like, vibration just matches vibration. So if you have that running dialogue about how you can't do it, you're worthless, you don't deserve it, if that's the running dialogue that's in your subconscious, that's what you're attracting. So you'll get to a certain point of success, and before you know it, you will find a way to self-sabotage it, or you'll attract like the same old. And you'll turn, it's like, I was doing so well. How come I ended up in the exact same place I was XYZ years ago? Well, because there's something going on in your subconscious telling you that that's all you deserve and that's where you need to be. So combat that in whatever way you want. You can combat it step by step so that it never bothers you again. Or you can just be like, you know what? F this, I'm going to let it go. And if you can do that, fabulous. Go for it. But you have to let it go forever. You can't just say, I'm going to let it go and ignore it. Like, you have to let it go. Like, anytime it crops up, you'll be like, nope. I've let that go. Nope, that does not exist for me. Bye. So that is something I wanted to talk about today. And let me also reassure you that whatever it is, you are more than capable of having it. You are more than worthy. You wouldn't be having those thoughts of success if you weren't worthy of achieving them. So yeah, you can and should, and there's have it. so yeah, and I want to see it. I want to see your projects. I want to see what amazing art you create in the world. So even if you think that nobody cares, even if you think that nobody's listening and no one cares, I care. I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it. I want you to send me videos and DM me, and I want to see it pop up on Facebook. I want to see your amazing work. I want to see it come to fruition. I'm so inspired by new creative work. So I want to see it. I want to see it. And this is how I do my part to help it come to fruition. I'm being your cheerleader. I'm being your confidant. I'm being your support. Like, yeah, do it. Oh my gosh, I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to see it. I want to read it. I want to hear it. I want to see it. So, all right, that is it for now. So please, your homework assignment. We're not really doing homework assignments in this one. That is for the next online course where we get down to the nitty gritty. But it is getting late. I can see it because I'm like fading. Oh my gosh, I had such a long day. I did my like side gig for a good part of today, and then I got called in for an audition. And it's like, audition, I have to do it. And I had to deal with dogs. It's an audition I had to deal with dogs. So I was like, dogs, I will be there. And I pretty much had to like book through traffic across town. It felt like the hero's quest, you guys. It really did. I was changing my clothes in the car to appropriate audition material. So I'm sure I gave the people next to me like a thrill. They're like, what's that girl doing? I was like, whatever, got an audition. But I like hustle. I was like calling my agent, I'm gonna be late, please let them see me. And I'm over there a lot, so I know the people that work at the casting department, and they've seen me come through. Fortunately I've called for a lot of auditions, so they're like, if she can get here by a certain time, we'll see her. I'm like, I have to make it. It was just so tiring, but I made it, and I dried myself off. Looked refreshed, like, no, I'm fine. I was just waiting to audition, and gave it my all, and now we keep our fingers crossed. But I laugh because I'm like, there was a time in my life, if someone had said, you have this audition, but it's going to conflict with this, and you got to get there, I would have said no. I would have said, nah, I'm going to pass. Gosh, I don't know if I'm going to make it in time. It's going to be so hectic, and I'm going to be exhausted. I'll just pass. And when I look back at that time, I'm like, God, that sucked. I like passed up so many opportunities for no reason. There was a reason, but no good reason. So even after all that, and I had a lovely conversation with everyone there. I'm always so happy every time I go to that casting office and getting to work and getting to audition. And I just had a great rehearsal the night before my show was coming out. I'm like, I love this life. I love this. I love that now, the thing that I've talked about doing for God knows how long. And I'm in it. I'm doing it. Good, bad, ugly, otherwise, like with all of it. And that's amazing. And I want as many creative people to be there as well. Especially, in the early part, it's building a business, so no, it's not necessarily like Hollywood fame and fortune, like right off Jump Street, but you get to the point you're like, I'm not making PowerPoint presentations. I'm not sitting behind a desk. I'm not getting yelled at by someone. I'm not spending all my days miserable, dreaming about doing the thing that I want to do. I'm actually doing it. And that feels amazing. And I'm very proud of that. I'm filled with so much pride when people ask me now. And it took me a while to get there. When people ask me, oh, well, what do you do? And I say, I'm an actress and a voiceover artist. That's what I do. Like, that's my gig. That is so refreshing. I want every creative entrepreneur to get there. Because most of the time people say, like, oh, well, I do XYZ day job, but I'm also I want you to get to the point where you're like, I'm a writer. I also do this, but I'm a writer. I'm an artist. You've probably seen my work around town. Let me give you my card. Just like any other creative, just like any other professional business. I want you to get to that point. Be loud and proud. Like, talk about what you do. All right. On that note, I've gone through many, many topics, and I am exhausted. I want to go put on my loungewear. I want to go put on my pajamas. And take off my makeup for the day. So, all right, cool kids. Start thinking about, like, what is that messaging you're giving yourself that you don't deserve it? Because you do. You deserve every bit of success that you have created because you're amazing. And that's that right there. All right. Gotta go. Love you, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.